Every time I see this guy leading Sweden, I always think he's about to sing Every Breath You Take by the Police. He's like Sting, if Sting was kind of a Nazi. So I've already tried this in base game HOI4, but I think in Millennium Dawn, this scenario is going to be a lot more interesting. Now, all these nations are democracies, but they're all following very different forms of it, which means there's going to be some pretty big divides in this campaign. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I've randomized this map, only eliminating communism, fascism, monarchies, and Islamic ideologies. Conservative weed man Gary Johnson is back leading the US, and they're actually the only libertarian great power in this whole map. A very similar thing is happening in the rest of the world, with Russia as conservative, China social liberal, and a social democracy in India. I am kind of expecting the nationalists to get the ball rolling here, since they're among the more aggressive governments. I mean, not to say others won't declare war, because as you can see, social liberal Poland wants to kill off Slovakia. You know, I guess I should have expected this, but considering Paul's name, I'm assuming he might be about to bust a nut. So I think this Albanian man might play a little bit of HOI4, because his shirt matches the progressive ideology. Yeah, he knows what the fuck he's doing. Yeah, that did not take long. UK's already trying to take out Ireland, but this usually isn't the first conflict to pop up. Wow. Okay, well, I'm assuming because the UK wasn't distracted, that's why they took out Ireland so fast. Because sometimes they have a tough time winning this war. And once again, we've got a bloody fight in Benelux. The Dutch with this leader who somehow looks like a bigger fuckboy than me, so I don't know how you could take him seriously, versus social liberal Belgium. Okay. We already have a pretty massive war to start things off. Iran is now going to take out the Kurds, which I guess I missed out on the fact that ISIS was destroyed. Damn, they're a democracy too. They were just starting to get their shit together. There is already 2 factions that have formed. Of course, it was kind of expected, but let's see how fast this spreads out to the rest of their neighbors. It did not take long for world tension to already get to 62%. It's only been a year and a half. Oh, you know what? There's a 3rd faction that's formed. Russia's gonna be doing their own thing. Which, as I said in the beginning, those 3 powers are different ideologies. Oh man, I'm so happy. Arabian Constipation Man is back leading this nation. I mean, he's either constipated or he might have just sharded. Something really horrible had to have happened back there. So there's the US faction. That's the 4th team to form in the last 2 years. Oh, and I guess France is working with Russia. There's also apparently a 5th faction here too. Yeah, because the jailbait leading Finland is being preyed upon by a young Norwegian Roy Moore. Okay, so this North American coalition is basically NATO. A lot of people are deciding to join in. I didn't see when this happened, but India is also at war with Russia. With 3 different factions in the east, this was your chance to take on China 1v1. I don't know how they fucked this up so badly. But you know what? It's all good, because this world's NATO, I guess, is already at war with Russia. And as usual, I wasn't paying attention. Really horrible shit is already happening in France. I imagine it's only gonna get so much worse. Oh, Mexico, what are you doing? Well, I guess we don't have to build the wall now. And Argentina has decided to join India. That's fantastic. Good job, guys. So the first thing I'm starting to notice is ideologies aren't really playing that big of a role. It seems like, for the most part, people are just joining a faction. They don't care what type of government you got. Now, this is going to be pretty fun, because we all know how badly the AI is at landing naval invasions in the British Isles. Well, regardless, this would be the time to do it. They really should have enough strength now. Iran continues to expand in the Middle East. We're gonna have to see exactly how Arabia and Turkey respond. I've never seen that name before. The United American Panama? I know they're nationalists, but that's an interesting choice. Okay, yep, they did it. That did not take long. Good job, AI. So it looks like Germany might be the big winner in Europe, just as soon as they take Manchester. But for the most part, Russia is holding on strong. It's gonna be very difficult to push in with this very little front. Although they did just lose this island up here. Oh man, you guys better watch it. Here's the important thing to keep in mind. All of Africa, the Middle East, and parts of South America still haven't chosen a faction yet. Even though the US team seems pretty powerful, that could change fairly quickly. As well as with Russia focusing on the West, India now has a chance of maybe taking out China. I mean, it's super unlikely. I feel like they never do it, but it's possible. The Brazilian state's going after Peru, which could be big. Like we said, we're waiting for them to join a team. Well, there is currently a South American federation, but, oh, they're nationalists too. I guess something could come from this. And this obese Israeli man is now attacking Lebanon. I'm glad these modders have chosen to include some thick boys. British Isles is pretty disgusting right now. Greece and the US got some territory though. England once again exists in Northern Ireland, which there could technically be a peace deal to make that a permanent thing. Not in this location, but maybe back where they should be. I think Burma might just take over all of Indochina soon. If they destroy Thailand and Vietnam stays out of their way, it's likely it could happen. Let's go back to East Asia and see which side has the advantage. India with 106 divisions. Oh, and China with 156, as well as 14 million manpower. Yeah, I think they're gonna be fine. Although India's got nukes, and I'm willing to bet they're gonna be dropping them soon, because they don't have any manpower, so they really need all the help they can get. I can't remember what video it was exactly, but I remember learning that it'd be pretty much impossible to take divisions across the Himalayas like this. So, I don't know, it'd be cool if there was a submod that kept huge-ass mountain ranges in mind. Ooh, progressive Morocco versus conservative Algeria. And Algeria is trying to go to war with Mali at the same time, so you're not gonna last long. Yep, I told you, Mexico, you fucked up. I don't know what you were thinking. And now the North American coalition just brought in Ukraine. And that's really gonna make a difference here. This is going to be a bloodbath because Russia is not prepared for this shit. Wow, here's kind of a rare occurrence. Japan has decided to help India because Nanking wasn't enough. This really could be the extra strength they honestly needed to finally capitulate China. Okay, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. Iran and Israel are by far the two biggest powers in the Middle East. Okay, wait a second. What the fuck am I saying? I thought Israel was a lot stronger than they are. I'm dumb, I'm sorry. Oh, we also got to keep in mind that Japan's at war with Russia, too. I definitely forgot about that. And I'm sure this is gonna have a pretty big role to play in this world. Plus, I think they're both the same ideology, so I don't know if that's gonna affect which faction they choose. But I think it's safe to say if no one joins in and this stays 1v1, most of the time South Korea wins. So there is an RKO out of nowhere. Bangladesh just took out both Burma and Laos. Or no, they just took out Burma and then also puppeted Laos, who was under their control before. Nope, I'm wrong about that too. Laos went to Thailand, and yeah, Bangladesh has Burma. Every time I see this guy leading Sweden, I always think he's about to sing Every Breath You Take by the Police. He's like Sting, if Sting was kind of a Nazi. Well, there you go. Finland was just puppeted, and Norway took some states. I guess with Portugal as well. I definitely do not give Turkey enough credit, so they just joined the North American coalition, and that's a lot of divisions now on their side. Yep, they have 63 divisions, so that's what I'm talking about. They might be the ones to finally end Russia. Or I guess they could just take out Bulgaria too. Wasn't expecting that. Oman is now the dominant coastal power in the Arabian Peninsula. That is, of course, until someone gets their shit together. And yes, I do mean that literally. Oh man, okay, there goes Russia. We're about to see a pretty big peace deal. And there it is. Okay, so the US took 2 states, Italy took 2 states, Germany took 15. Okay, that's weird. Bunch of places were puppeted. Yeah, definitely a lot of places were puppeted. And yes, this is a real map of Europe right now. There are no wars going on in this continent. This is what it fucking looks like. First of all, I do like that there are 3 factions in here, just kind of sandwiched in this new NATO. And I have to mention this Spanish dick just coming right up into France. They're definitely coming all right. So we have Socialist England, controlled by Germany. We have Poland, puppeting a conservative Scotland, and then both Wales and Ireland, also controlled by the Germans. Russia didn't lose that much territory. I mean, it's possible they could come back from this. Aw, and that's sweet. Gary Johnson let Mexico go. They're not puppeted. They're doing their own thing. Probably selling crack. And Indonesia has decided to form a team with Zimbabwe. Perfect alliance there, guys. Oh, and I should probably also mention the USA controls Hungary. Let's see who has Brittany. Poland. Wow, they kind of got a lot out of this. But of course, nobody got more than Germany. They also have Latvia. So I think this game is pretty much over. I thought the faction would kind of fall apart after the war, but it doesn't seem that way, which means they'll probably continue to dominate. And since these two are killing each other, there isn't anybody to stand in their way. And real quick, just to check in on exactly how that Asian war is going, I guess China has been sending their men into a meat grinder, nearly 1 million casualties, and it's only been like 3 years. India isn't even over 200,000, so I don't know what's going on here. Obviously the Chinese have a ton more factories though, but at the end of the day, it isn't really making a difference. And I don't know why I didn't point this out initially, but this is kind of a big deal. The United States control Ireland, northern France, and Hungary, basically, instead of just puppeting everything, kind of like Germany did. Real quick, I do want to show off the first time I tried to record this video. Unfortunately, my power went out, and I fucking wasted 2 hours of my life. I really wanted to kill myself. This was a crazy game that had Russia and China working together, and obviously, as you can see, they took out India and completely rolled through the Middle East and Eastern Europe. It was kind of a very similar situation with the NATO we saw in this video, except the faction was a little late. And for the most part, Russia had gotten to most of these places way before the US could do anything about it. We're also 7 years into the future, so that's partly why these borders look so crazy. I just wanted to show this off because we usually don't get this far into campaigns, especially when there are huge world wars going on. But yeah, who would have guessed an all-democratic world could lead to this much chaos? This was definitely one of the more aggressive videos I think we've ever done in Millennium Dawn. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And of course, big thanks to Neo, Wyone, Destiny Fucker 9000, Jacob W, Random Guy, Rasmus F, Jacob Scott, Elfie, Stormblade, Ethan J, Kirby, Humor Demon, Namir, Stefan M, and Furry Cruz for being my crack daddies. If you want to support me, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description down below. Thank you so much for helping crack